Welcome to a mod preview of Lucium Total War 2.0. 2.0 is a version of Lucium Total War that has been taken into account its criticism, its shortcomings, and the planned features that did not get into the final initial release of 1.0 and 1.2. 2.0 is the absolute pinnacle of Lucium Total War, and will hopefully remain unchanged for a while, as the team can turn its focus onto DLC campaigns. For the future of 2.0, we have already begun work on the South America's campaign, focusing around Bolivia's revolution and the collapse of the Spanish Empire in the Americas. But what's certain is that 2.0 will be one of the last updates to the main European campaign for a long while, not including patches when bugs inevitably arise. And the dev team will be working on DLC campaigns from now on. We hope you enjoy Lucium 2.0 and look forward to Lucium's first DLC campaign. Starting off with Great Britain. Now, with Great Britain, there's a very interesting little faction. First, you control the British Isles. You don't control Scotland, which is an interesting event. We'll get into that in a minute. You control the Netherlands as well, which could be a good, in case you want to invade Germany or France. It's a good little bit like invasion area. Just invade. I did mention earlier this was a map preview. That's a lie. It's a mod preview, not a map preview. I recorded that a while back and completely thought, why the fuck did they say that? Anyway, with Great Britain, it's a very interesting faction. They have the Act of Union event, which goes through 3 stages. Initially, there were British armies hovering outside Edinburgh on turn 1, with Edinburgh having an empty garrison. They feel you could just walk in and take the city with ease. Then in the 1.0 and 1.2 versions on turn 14, an army spawned outside Edinburgh for you to siege the city. Then on turn 15 you take the city, just as coincidentally the event fires throughout this. Edinburgh has always been held by minor factions, but not anymore. An entirely new British federate state of Scotland, which essentially is Scotland, now exists, with only one unique unit and not actually being playable, so you can't play as them at all, which would make sense, because they are essentially a vassal state, and I would say an immersion faction, but yeah, it would just fuck up too many events, so they're not playable. With only one unique for the players. This faction starts off an allied of Britain, which they do now. As you can see, on turns 3 and 8, events will fire that tell the player exactly what's going on with talks concerning unification. On turn 15, in 1707, the Act of Union will happen. Scotland is annexed by the United Kingdom, so you take all of Edinburgh's lands, and pretty much this guy becomes part of our kingdom. So yeah, Governor Arthur of Scotland, not Arthur Morgan. Okay, Scotland is an annex. As was historically, the Scottish would slightly been owned by the English. They do now. And so on turn 17, the Scottish rise up again as part of this new faction, the Jacobite Uprising. So now, actually represented by Uprising, this makes a United Kingdom campaign thousands of times better. And we do expect people to make Scotland a playable faction. I mean, you can if you want to. You could just fuck about the scripts and do that if you wanted to. You shouldn't really, but I know there's going to be some people out there that's going to bleed a Scottish campaign. I can see it now. But yes, with Britain's quite good. It's got a big economy. Is pretty crap because they have big army upkeep and so yeah. So the first thing, if playing Britain, you should really disband your army or conquer France straight away, or just could attack Scotland, but you shouldn't really. Obviously, just fuck up the event. So don't bother. Don't do that at all. Yes, you got Netherlands. You got a lot of cool. Fucking hell. I'm fucking dying here. You get British infantry. You have a little pikeman, and his cavalry quite nice as well. You got 18th century cannons, which is awesome. And of course, you got gun frigates, which is another cool thing as well. With Britain, you do have some people that spawning later, some generals that come in later on. George as well. That's quite cool. And also Ireland and I think Cardiff is a bit dodgy for public order. The reason being, you can see the whole, and because the whole religion shit, which represents that the religious bit of religious fucking, I don't know what the word for it is, but the religion over there, which just didn't go very well. But yeah, which they represent how bad the Irish sort of like public order is, which is the option you can how to sort that out is just lower the taxes, which will sort it out completely. There you go, fine. that's how to sort that out. But that's to show how the Irish did not like the British, and they weren't all the same religion as well, which is a problem. Another thing I will add actually is the campaign map itself. We have because I'm part of the mod team. Yeah, we got given permission from the 1648 mod, which is now being continued. It was discontinued for a while, but it's now being continued, which is good. It was made by a Polish developer as well, which is cool. So yeah, we used some of the campaign map models, and so we moved over the campaign map models for the ships, generals, and captains from the mod. So, for example, if this guy is his own little like general unit or captain unit, and you got the ships like their own little models. And to do an example with the king, he has his own little king thing, which is nice. King thing, you get a gist. All right. So yeah, it would just make the base game look a bit. It makes it like look Lucium, not makes it look a bit like fucking Medieval 2, which is good. I like that. Anyway, let's go on to France. Another thing that's regarding the colonial nations and France and Spain mainly is in the and because you at the moment with this campaign you can't really go to the Americas and fight, for example, like the American War of Independence. However, we've always intended that the player will feel some repercussions because of it, and now we finally implementing it. And basically, what happens is that the Britain gets an event, the French get an event, and the Spanish regarding Chile and the French regarding Haiti, and the other additional colonies as well. Say for example Louisiana and all that. So yeah, they receive a colonial force, so around say a full stack of just troops from the Americas that I would imagine land on the west coast somewhere. And you also have you get a hit from 10,000 to 20k gold in order to show the tax drop these countries would experience from the revolution in their colonies. This will hopefully spice up late game playthroughs. Yeah, obviously it won't come until later on. The interesting thing about France, you still get troops. Also, something about the family as well is if you adopt a general, they're going to be quite old, so it won't look look like they make an impact in their family, which is understandable. Because for example, Louis is 25 and he gets some guy. I don't really like adopting generals in Total War anyway, unless maybe for a hot seat or if I really fucking need to. But other than that, I don't really want to. Don't do it myself. But yeah, France, a decent economy it seems. The army upkeep again. To show the army, of course, and also France later on. I think it's 1740 something, or I can't remember the actual turn. But you get an event that spawns in the French Republic, which is outside Paris, I believe. Or sometimes they spawn elsewhere. I'm pretty sure it's around Paris. So you have the French Republic, which is essentially your rebellion, and to show the whole French Revolution scenario that happened. It doesn't actually happen until 1789, I think. If I'm correct, if my history serves me well, yeah. But yeah, so you have a whole event that starts off with that, and that's very interesting because you have to fight, have to get power, fight off the French as well. And you have public order problems here with you see the revolutionaries down here. Yeah, the revolution is very close to kicking off as well. But yeah, France is a very interesting faction, and it's really cool, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Anyway, let's go on to the Papal States. Now, usually the Western Europe factions and I think Poland and Prussia and all that have events inside it. Italy and like the Italy and the Middle East doesn't get too many big events. So obviously you have the Papal States, and which isn't playable in the vanilla Medieval 2, but it is in this mod, which is cool. Because they don't have because obviously you can't do Crusades because it's fucking 1700s for God's sake. So you have Rome. These cool units called the Papal Guard, which I think is pretty cool. You got Musketeers, etc. You got a nice little settlement up here. And the cool thing about the Italian factions is that I'm not sure if you can do it with the Papal States, but I'm pretty sure you can do it with the old ones. Is that you can unite Italy. Basically, I don't know if it says anything about here somewhere. No, I don't think it does. But what happens is that you take all of Italy, and then you can have an event that makes you turns you into Italy. Like you can become the king of Italy or something like that, and you just become the king of Italy, which I think is really cool. And it's very nice little thing they've done. And the same with Germany as well. If you play as Prussia or one of the other German states as well, which I think is very nice. But yeah, the Papal States is a quite cool little faction. It's a nice little faction to play as, and you can go about reconquering Italy as well, which is fun. Spain. Now, Spain has quite a few different events. Yeah, the Spanish Empire has a bit of an issue during the 1700s. They start rebellions in their economy and the shitty collapse of their public order. Economy. As you can see by the corruption, the army upkeep, and the wages, this is not wonderful at all. So yeah, Spain automatically is going in debt. So you sort of playing as Spain, you sort of want to like conquer as many settlements as you can to get out of debt. Obviously, you can take out Portugal because they are rebel in this. Portugal was going to be a playable faction, but they decided against it because Portugal wouldn't add too much to the main game. So yes, that's why you have like an army there ready to go rape them, for example. So yeah, expanding with Spain is something you need to do. They do control quite a lot of regions, but that's going to rebel straight away. That's already dodgy when it comes to rebellion, so that's probably going to rebel too. Unless you build them, no, you can't even build. Yeah, it's all very dodgy with public order of Spain to show how shit they were at this time. Milan's about to rebel. That's about to rebel. It's playing as Spain, you just lose a lot of settlements, sort of like the Roman Empire when Attila. You just lose your settlements straight away to rebellions, which is what's going to happen in Spain. And it makes Spain quite a fun little faction to play as. What was that? Events have been added, so yeah. You get a second returning colonial army as well. In order to bolster you, if you had played intelligently, you would have mostly disbanded your army. So that's how you stop. So you can either conquer or disband your army. You're better to disband your army. What else is it? An event to congratulate you once you fix Spain's economy. It does this by returning the king's purse to a positive number and giving you a small militia army as well. That will make the whole Spanish faction a lot interesting and a lot more fun. And Spain's quite a cool little faction. I'd definitely like to have a go at them at some point. However, a friend of mine in the developer team has already done it, so I don't want to exactly copy him. But it'd be a nice little faction to play. However, I'm currently doing Georgia at the moment, as there's like 2 other YouTubers have done Georgia. One of them has a good reason, the other doesn't. But we won't get into that. Yeah. For Georgia, though, my faction is my series is sort of the only one that hasn't gone into debt. One of them has gone to debt. One of them's lost an entire army. For now, it's alright. But anyway, Cologne. Now, Cologne is one of the German states. Not the most interesting of factions, to be perfectly honest. But I think that's quite cool anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot. Magdeburg is the capital of the Holy Roman Emperor himself. In this time, he doesn't have a lot of control as well. So he's got like really OP units. And he's a Holy Roman Guard or something. They're pretty fucking badass. So taking that is something to do like after you like conquered all of Germany. So yeah, you have Prussia down here. You can take them out pretty easily. But yeah, Cologne's quite a cool little faction to play as well. There's not too much to really say about them, to be perfectly honest. They're just Cologne, and your goal was just reclaim Germany, as is the other couple German states as well. Now Prussia, we've done a series on Prussia a while back. My mistake with that series is that I went up north to invade Scandinavia. What I should have done is attack Germany straight away. Obviously, it was my mistake. We couldn't really continue the series because we had a crashing bug, and it was made on the version 1.0. So yeah. But the Prussia is quite an interesting faction. Got a decent general straight off the bat. There's a night fighter as well. I believe he's a night fighter too. So you have pretty good generals as well. Obviously got Berlin. They're a bit spread out Prussia. They got Königsberg in the east, and they got Berlin area, and then you got Mainz over here. So yeah, they're quite a hard faction to play as, but I did alright with them, I think, despite doing things differently. But yeah, there's not. Is there any event? No, of course you can form Germany with Prussia as well. I cannot remember. I don't think there's an event with them. I'm not. Apart from forming Germany, that's it. But yeah. Anyway, let's go see what else is. The Duchy of Genoa. Right. So this faction is kind of small. Obviously you can reform Italy. Sorry. Yeah, start off as a small faction. Your probably enemy is likely Spain, as it's going to rebel anyway. So you'd be wise enough to quickly take that straight away. Otherwise, I mean, I'll demonstrate for you guys. So yeah, take that very easily, because if you let it rebel, it'll just be shit. Anyway, obviously you can attack Savoy as well, which I think Savoy was like allied with Spain, I believe. I'm not sure. Anyway, there you go. But yeah, Genoa is quite a small little faction. Again, your goals are fairly straightforward: to attack the Italian states and become Italy, I guess. That's your main goal. Other than that, there's not really a lot. But yeah, anyway. We're going to another faction and see what is in store. Ah, Savoy, yes. That's going to come up with a billion pop-ups, isn't it? How unprofessional of me. Anyway, you have the Savoy family tree. It's not too important. But yeah, Savoy, you just attack them, essentially. That's your main goal, I'd imagine. Obviously, you can push west against the French, which is doable, obviously. I think there's a Spanish settlement you can take as well if you wanted to. But yeah, the Italian states aren't the most interesting faction, to be perfectly honest. They're okay, but they're just not that interesting. Obviously, the main goal is to form Italy, and that's it. That's your interesting bit of it. Anyway, that's it with that faction. Alright, Westphalia. Okay, now Westphalia is another German state in the south, just north of Bavaria and to the east of France. And north of them, you got Prussia and you got the Magdeburg as well. It's just here, the Emperor's seat of power as well. So yeah, they're quite cool little faction of players. Like you got the horse and all that. So yeah, they're again quite straightforward. The most interesting faction would probably be Germany, perhaps Venice. Not Germany, Prussia and Venice are the most interesting factions in Italy and Germany. But yeah, their goal again, take Germany. So yeah, pretty simple. Not too much to say about them. We got Bavaria, sorry. So yeah, again, another German state. They'll be invading and taking over Germany, which is to be expected. So, yeah. Again, not too much to add about the German factions. They're just German. They do have German heavy lancers. They do actually control the cavalry, which is quite interesting. As you can see, they got the heavy lancers, which don't have a lot of good defense, but they're still pretty good. They're good for shot cavalry, which is what matters. Alright. And Denmark as well, which is quite interesting. Now, Denmark was originally part of the Kalmar Union, but Sweden split off from them, and they had some trouble with is their enemies or something. Oh, I should have probably read that. Oh, but yeah, they have some problems with their backstabbing Swedish. So yeah, war with Sweden will come very soon, probably. Sweden obviouss have one goal to take hamburgers. So they always do that in every Total War game, even the vanilla game. So yeah, they control Norway as well. Stavanger, which is cool. You got Aarhus as well, and Copenhagen, which is cool. Quite a cool little faction, nice little island faction. So you can probably go take out Sweden or go invade the British Isles, similar to the Vikings did. What's it? Fucking 1,000 years ago now. No, 900 years ago is the right one. But yeah, Denmark's a cool little faction. Venice as well, which start off at war with the Ottomans. So straight off the bat, you can't really focus on invading of Italy because you'll be busy fighting the Ottomans. When the pop-ups stop, I can fucking show you. They also control Corinth as well, which is cool. And they have Greek bayonets, which is also pretty cool. Very nice. And so they're pretty much starting off at war with the Ottomans as well, which is their main goal. Another very interesting little faction to play. Got Ragusa as well, which do control in the base game. And obviously Venice and all that. So yes, they have a goal they can either focus their attention against the Ottomans or invade Italy as well. Up to you. It's at the end of the day. This mod is for you guys and for everyone else who wants to play it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for them. Sweden's quite the big power. I think they're one of the thing on the faction description was that they're invading Poland and to Russia to become a big superpower, which is quite fun. Quite a cool little thing to play as. Obviously, you control all Sweden, and you control Riga as well. But yeah, they're quite cool. Do they have any special units? They have Scandinavian mobile infantry, which I think are quite good as well. Obviously, have King Charles as well, which is cool. So yeah, they're quite a nice little island faction. They tend to always attack the Prussians, or that settlement over here, which I've had experience in with the Prussian campaign, where I just decided to get on my ships and go attack them. Which, because they probably wouldn't have stopped raiding me. Now, Austria is quite a big faction, and in my opinion, they're fairly easily, really. They're not difficult to play at all. So, I wish these pop-ups would just piss off a minute and like just go away. I probably should have gone to the files and disabled them just for the purposes of this video. But yeah, they control Innsbruck and Austria and Hungary, I guess. They are quite a superpower, so they can probably move into. They are at war with the Ottomans, so obviously one of their goals will be fighting them. And they can also, after they're done fighting the Ottomans, they could probably move and attack Germany if they wanted to. But they're quite a cool little faction to play as. They're doing alright for money. They have a lot of army upkeep and wages. So you've got to pay for all that. But here we got Boris Johnson. Not really Boris, but you have this. This is a bit dodgy for public order. A lot of revolutionaries over there. I imagine it's probably, yeah, it is Islamic a bit as well. So yeah, their goal is to be fighting off the Ottomans, which is quite cool. So that's a nice little faction to play. Not too much to really add for them. They're just Austria and Hungary merged together, really. And they're quite the cool little faction. Now, Poland Lithuania has a script, actually, if I recall. Let me quickly get up a minute. Poland and some of the eastern factions, they were given a bit of a change by Atheist, who is Polish himself, one of the mod developers as well. Now, they have the army modernization thing, which essentially, all factions have a standard unit of some form of home guard. I think every faction has it. Yeah, they do. These are always a weak and cheap spear unit with terrible morale, but I realise this isn't necessarily accurate. From about 1730 onwards, spearmen weren't used at all. So the first part of this army modernization event happens. This event will act sort of like the marine reforms in Rome Total War. When the army modernization event fires, all places that could make home guard militia European factions. This, therefore, won't change anything for the Ottomans, Persians, and Moroccans. And then you'll get a regimental home guard unit that will basically replace them. Now, for Poland Lithuania is where the event shines. We are lucky enough from the mod team to have a Polish developer, as I said a minute ago. He designed the faction flags as well, and many other graphical changes, such as the policy building cards. He made it his mission to bring an interesting gameplay experience to Poland, Lithuania, and therefore a complete overhaul of every single unit in the Polish roster has been done. As well as this, when the army modernization event hits, it will change the Polish roster more than any other faction. With many units been taken out and being more been added instead, this will hopefully make gameplay as a Polish actually enjoyable, as it wasn't in 1.2. Obviously, compared to 1.2, this mod was crap. Compared to, when you compare it to 2.0, it's amazing. 1.2 was just meh compared to now. But yeah, also another thing is that the units have all been given like the different units that you did last time, like you can see here. Actually, funny enough, I did a couple of the pictures like the down here for these guys, which is quite cool. They also have control archers, which is quite interesting. So we can find some more somewhere around here. These guys, I found them as well. Oh, and yeah, I went around and did all that. That was fun. I also did some of the Eastern faction as well, which I'll get into that in a bit later on. But yeah, Poland's obviously their goal. I don't know, they have choices. Probably to attack Prussia, deal with the Swedish, or invade Russia. So they have quite a few things to do, or just attack Austria in general. But yeah, you have a lot of choices with them, which is a nice little faction to play as. We got Prince August or Augustus or whatever. That's not what I did there. That's a bit of a blurry image, that one. Which, oh well, doesn't matter. So yeah, that's Poland. And the Ottoman Empire, which is again, it's going to come up with a million pop-ups. Okay, now the Ottomans start off at a war with Venice and the Austrians, so their main focus. Oh, fuck off. Let's go. Oh, for fuck's sake, game. I thought I just did all this. Fuck off. Thank you. So they start off at war with they have a bit of public order issues up north, as you can see, and Durazzo as well. So their main focus will be on their western front and southern front with the Venetians as well. Iranians a bit dodgy as well for public order. But yeah, down here though, the public order for the Ottomans is fine, which is good, apart from Jerusalem and Cyprus. What's Crimea like? But yeah, the Ottomans are quite a large faction. They can be quite challenging when it comes to public order. as well. Currently, I'm about to go to war with them in my Georgian campaign, which is cool. So yeah, they start off as quite the cool little faction to play as. I recommend them if you want a good challenge. But I was gonna do this faction originally, but I felt like it'd be too easy with the whole massive faction. It just be fell easily. I know some big factions can be quite the challenge, but yeah. Oh well, I chose to do Georgia instead because it's something new I haven't done before. The Ottomans I'm gonna do in another mod at some point anyway. But yeah, the Ottomans are quite a cool faction. There's not too many events with them. They do have the Janissaries and Slavic Halberdiers, Ottoman Royal Guard as well. They're quite the cool faction. And yeah, I recommend playing them if you want a nice little challenge and just a bit of fun really. But yeah, another cool faction I would like to play too, but I have a lot of factions I want to do and other stuff too. But yes, that's it for the Ottomans. They're quite the cool faction. And yeah, I didn't show the family tree, which is again pretty basic. And you got Fez Morocco. Let me just fucking hell. Anyway, Fez Morocco is the faction that is basically Moors United. I apologise for this. So what happens when you have like a million events and a hot seat. But so you have Marrakesh, you have Tangier, Desertia. Yeah, it's done. Okay, so you have that basically. So they're essentially the Moors in the vanilla Turtle War game as well. So you can just invade all that. Create your Moorish Empire, I guess. And obviously your goal would be killing the British and then invading Spain as well, while Spain's fairly weak, which is quite cool. And I reckon it's a nice little North African challenge as well, which is quite cool. I'm not sure why the Fez bit comes into it, but there you go. I didn't ask questions. Anyway, Persia. Now this is a cool faction. Now obviously the Persia Safavid dynasty is quite the dynasty in this time period, and they were a formidable. They did have elephants in their armies as well. So if you want an experience like you did with the Timurids, then there you go. Yeah. Right. Okay. So you have quite a big family tree. You've got you got this guy who usually dies fairly early on. He's 65. I mean, 65 in the 1700s is pretty much the verge of death, pretty much. And yeah, it's quite cool. Quite a little cool big faction. You can recruit elephants at some point. I don't know. I imagine later on in the game you can do that. But yeah. Oh yes, I forgot. I'll show you some of these I did, which were mine. That was mine. That was mine. I didn't do the fortifications. That wasn't mine. It was that one. That was it. And I can't remember which one it was now. It was a while ago since I did this. That's one as well. And I believe that's it actually. Well, obviously there's some in the Ottomans and Georgian factions that you can just look on there, which I'll probably show later on. But anyway, Persia's quite a cool faction, and they're quite a strong, formidable empire straight away. Their main goal is probably to expand and invade settlements as quick as they can. That's probably your main chance as the Persians. Anyway, let's go on to Russia. Now Russia, as you can see, is very spread out as well. Some bits are a bit blacked out to show how much they haven't discovered yet. Well, no, they've discovered all that, but you don't need to see it in the game. It's a mod focused on Europe, not all that. But yeah, you have a lot of settlements as well as Russia. You are quite a decent faction. The main problem that all Russia suffers at is being very divided, and it takes you a long time to rally your armies up as well, and makes some of your settlements fairly useless. Now Russia starts at war with nobody. They do have an event later on that has the whole St. Petersburg being built as well, which is quite cool. Very nice. So you got Smolensk and you got Moscow as well. So they're quite the big faction. They got these Tsars got infantry, is quite nice. Got the Caspian Light Cavalry units over here as well. Got the Finnish Line Infantry as well. Got Fiona, the Princess, not very interesting. Ruthenian Line Infantry, which is pretty cool. I don't think there's any eastern settlements. There might be over here actually. I don't think so because they are. I'm pretty sure they don't. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for Russia. Your main goal is Russia to probably expand west or expand over here or into Georgia, or Ottoman territory, up north to the Swedes. It's up to you. Russia's a big enough faction you can sort of choose whenever you really want to go. You have Georgia, which is the faction I'm playing in my campaign. So you have Duke Dmitry, you have Pavel, Prince Boris as well. So yeah, Georgia, what I've been doing in my campaign is expanding south and taking out a lot of territory. And now I'm about to go to war of, obviously establishing my economy, which is going fairly, I think I'm on like 14 grand or something. And I'm still doing well with money, and now I'm going to expand against the Ottomans as well. Now, we're playing as Georgia as well. I mean, watch my series. It's sort of a guide to the faction in a way. And just because I know what I'm doing with the mod. It's a lot better than my Prussia campaign. And this time around, I was doing things right. So, you got these guys. So what you should do, take all the rebel settlements and push west. Or push east against Prussia. Well, Persia, sorry. But what I did is I allied with Russia, allied with Persia. So now I have 2 allies. And now I can push against the Ottomans as well. And also use Spanish ships early on. Then build up your ships later on. And then basically take out Crimea and all the surrounding area, which is quite cool. And that's what I did when I played the faction 2. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the mod preview. This mod in itself is just amazing. There's so much work has gone into it. It's just an excellent fucking mod. And I hope you enjoy as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video too. And yeah, it's just a really good mod. It's I wouldn't say it's the best mod in the whole of Turtle War community, but it's up there. It's up there on the list of the one of the top 5 best mods, I would probably say. However, there is a lot of work that's still to be done, but Europe's completely finished. We probably won't go back to this at all when it comes to modding. We simply don't care. We've done as much as we can anyway. It's done pretty much. There's nothing else we can do. For the future though, something I didn't notice. We actually have models for these ships now, which is good. And I believe we have like armies. We have actual like skins for armies as well, which is awesome, and princesses too. We don't unfortunately have any for the Middle East, apart from the ships. I don't think. Yeah, because if we wanted to have other like generals and shit with like models, we'd have to like make them, and it would just we couldn't really be bothered, to be perfectly honest. I think it's just too much hard work. The mod itself doesn't really need it, I would say. But yeah, it's an awesome mod. Definitely, I've definitely come to love this mod a lot more than when I first came upon it. So yeah, it's really good. Obviously, we have a new faction since 1.0, which is Scotland, which is like an alliance to Britain, like a vassal essentially. But yeah, I did actually think if Scotland should deserve more than one region actually, rather than just one. But I've had the discussion and I won't go into it anymore. But yeah, well, let me know what you think actually. Let me know if you think Scotland deserves more regions. Obviously, I doubt we do it unless we need it really. There's people really fucking wanted to. And in which case we may do it, but again. But yes, we're now sort of planning on moving to DLC campaigns or like sub mods of the main mod into DLC. Obviously, you have like a DLC menu for this mod now, and it will show you that the South American DLC is now being worked on, which is true. We've done the map, and there's a lot as just the bits to fill it in, and then it's pretty much done. Yeah, I really need to do some work for it actually, but I've been busy with YouTube and just haven't really had the time. But hopefully now I can get to it. But yeah, after the South American campaign, I believe we're sort of moving. We're going to do the Indian DLC, which is obviously to the east over here somewhere. It's like right there. But yeah, we're doing the Indian campaign. I don't know what else we'll do after the Indian campaign, but I am working on a sub mod with Hazza Mufasa, who is the developer or lead developer of the 100 Years War mod. And well, it's actually a new 100 Years War mod. This was originally a one that came out a while back, but I think it's got discontinued or something. But anyway, me and him are going to be working on a North American sub mod that is basically the North American sub mod is going to go from like Mexico, like the southern bit of Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, up to the borders of Alaska and the like southern shores of Greenland as well, which is going to be quite the big mod. And yeah, I'm looking forward to starting work on it. Yeah, and we're gonna we're gonna sort of, because it's gonna be bigger than the Empire Total War America map as well, and it's just hopefully it'll be the greatest North American mod we've ever been made, hopefully. But yes, looking forward to that, and I hope you guys are looking forward to everything that is coming. Lucium Total War Europe campaign. But obviously we've ended that. That's finished for now. But the future of Lucium is uncertain, and there's a lot of stuff to come as well. Just because we finished a Europe campaign does not mean this mod is over at all. But yes, anyway, we'll end this here. I hope you've enjoyed this preview, and I will see you in the next preview. Let me know if you do like these, and I'll do them for other mods as well. And I expect I'll probably do one for the other DLC campaigns and sub mods, etc. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you later.